Did you know that Resident Evil is one of the most successful franchises ever, sporting games, movies, books, toys, and board games? You're listening to the Xbox Hub Podcast, the official podcast of the TheXboxHub.com. For the latest Xbox news, reviews, videos, and opinions, make sure you visit the TheXboxHub.com. But for now, settle down, get comfy, and open your ears for some podcast delights. Hello and welcome to the Xbox Hub Official Podcast, episode number 95. My name's Gareth Bryan, I'm going to be your host. And on my virtual left is Mr. Paul Renshaw. How you doing, Paul?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Gareth. Since tonight I'm going to be James, I'm hoping to mostly talk about K-pop and wrestling.
That's what we like. That's what we like. That's what the viewers are there for, all four of them. And on my virtual right is Mr. Darren Edwards. How you doing, Darren?
Hello, I'm very well, thank you. How are you, Gareth?
Very good. Now, before we begin, we'll ask you what you're doing for the week. Darren, because you wasn't here last week for Gamescom, but you were watching it. What was your favourite thing? What was your thing you're most excited about from last week?
I think for me, I'm glad there was some Halo stuff, but it was Saints Row, I think, for me.
Ooh.
I thought the trailer was amazing, and I'm a big fan of the old ones, so that really took me by surprise, and yeah, that was a real highlight for me.
Did we slag that off last week, Paul? I can't remember.
I think we went with the meh sort of approach.
Oh no, well, Neil agrees with me. So
Yeah.
We weren't fans of GTA, and we didn't really play Saints Row beyond the second one. But I'll tell you something: if you look out there on the internet, and I mean, I know that people on the internet are normally balanced and everything else, but there is a lot of hate for the new look of it. There's people on all over the internet going, "This is not Saints Row. This is just a bunch of hipsters who've stepped out of Starbucks, etc., etc." So, and it's like, well, I've not seen people stepping out of Starbucks with heavy artillery, but whatever,
well, if you head further up north, Paul, you will.
Darren,
Well,
did you? I'll tell you what, there was a lot of love for in this week on the internet is that game we talked about last week, the K-pop game.
Doki V.
Doki V. There's been a lot of love for that. Did you like the look of that?
It looks awesome.
It does, doesn't it?
That does look good.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, that's been a big success. Okay, what have you been up to this week, you two? Darren, what have you been up to? Let's carry on with you. What's been your things?
Well, long awaited couple of weeks off work, so I'm in week 1 of 2 currently, so I'm very relaxed. So just been catching up with friends and family, and catching up on a few games, namely Psychonauts 2, which I've been playing pretty much all day. I've just broken to do this, and then I'll be jumping straight back on. So I'm having a very nice, relaxing week. Thank you.
Good. Paul, what about you? What's your week been like? Well, since I spoke to you on Sunday.
Well, since we spoke on Sunday, I had a bank holiday Monday, which was nice because I managed to actually not do some work for a day. And it was my wedding anniversary on the bank holiday Monday as well. 18 years.
18 years.
Thank you very much.
Congrats.
18 years. I can't believe it. And then just the rest of the time has been pretty much just going to work and falling out with people when they say we'll put a broadband line in and then they don't bother. And so we've had one of our branches today. I've been on the phone to me. I've been shouting at the phone company going, "Why is the phone line not working?" And then she rang me back a little bit later and said, "This Panasonic phone system under the counter, does it need to be turned on?" I was like, "Yeah, if you want to make phone calls, it needs to be on." So once we turned it on, surprisingly, the phones started working again. So this is what I'm up against every day, people.
Right. Good.
Oh,
I'm not even sure if phone systems are IT, but it comes under my umbrella.
Good. Now, good. I was looking at talking to Dan. I think you were going to talk about What If, weren't you? And I've talked about What If, the Marvel animated TV series. And I just watched. I watched a few of them, and I was kind of like, they're all right, they're good. But the last one I watched was very, very good. Episode 4.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think 4 was the best by far. The others have been a bit, it's quite interesting. But I think 4 was good because it pivoted on a specific point, and wherever the rest just felt so wildly different, I wasn't really as invested in them.
Yeah, and it was really well voice acted because it had Cumberbatch back, didn't he? I think he did the thing, and it's a great. Hopefully they're going to carry on. They're going to get better to the end of the series. But yeah, I think it's a Doctor Strange episode. I don't want to say anything else because it'll spoil it. But yeah, it just puts it in a different timeline. Yeah, really good. Games. Now let's start with Paul. Paul, what have you been playing?
Hi. I have been playing several games for review. Keen listeners to the podcast may remember a couple of weeks ago there was a game that I was reviewing that I wasn't allowed to talk about. I can talk about it now, and it was Aliens Fireteam Elite. And I've just got to go on record and say the game, if you like Aliens the film, you will love the game because it's just like being in the film. It's brilliant. I'm really enjoying it. Everything from the noises that the aliens make when you shoot them to the little motion sensor going beep, beep, beep as they get closer. It's just absolutely perfect. The atmosphere of the film is brilliantly nailed.
And single player, Paul. So say if I want to play,
player.
Is it what's that like? Because I know it's kind of meant to be co-op.
It's hard. Basically, if you are playing single player, then the other 2 slots in the fire team are filled in by AI bots, and brilliantly they're synths, just like Bishop in the movies. But they're not massively effective. After about the end of the 3rd set of missions, they really start struggling. They start to be out of the depth. But the game will match you with random people. You don't have to talk to them or anything or interact. You just have to run through and shoot things in the face. So it's like, it's just win-win. They get help, you get help, and the AI can take a back seat.
When I go with random people, I always just feel I'm letting them down so badly. It's all right with friends; they know how bad I am. But it's like when I've played Destiny with random people. It's like you can see them stopping and looking at me as I'm still struggling with the thing.
Did they send you messages like it's A to jump?
They're normally quite kind in a weird way.
Trigger, that's what you need.
My only worry with it, and it's the only thing with those games. Is there a lot of you got to defend this area, and there'll be the horde mode. Is there a lot of horde mode of aliens coming in from everywhere?
Yes.
Okay.
Basically, as you go through each mission, there's sort of 3 kind of set piece parts to it, where it will be just hold this position while the lift arrives, or while this happens, or whatever. It's like Destiny, where you have to wait while Ghost unlocks the door.
Yeah, great. So you recommend it, Paul? What did you give it?
I do recommend it. I give it, I think, a 4.
Okay.
I think it was a 4. Yeah, It was quite high anyway. I very much enjoyed it.
It's not that expensive. It's not like it's between that.
No, it's
midpoint.
30 odd quid, isn't it?
It's pretty good if you get a few people together.
It's not bad at all.
Good. Darren, what about you? What have you been playing?
So one of my review titles was the Falconer DLC, Edge of the World. So for those who aren't familiar, it's a bit of an open-ish world adventure game where you're on the back of a falcon, and they're used as competitive weapons really in this world. And you explore, kind of escort allies, take part in aerial dogfights. It's a little bit samey after a while, so it is on Game Pass, so you don't have to fork out for it if you want to give it a go, but the DLC isn't, so that'll cost you, it's only about 6 or 7 quid, I think, extra. It's the thing that for me that does it. It's a beautiful game to look at, so the world looks incredible, really moody, kind of cel shaded graphics, absolutely beautiful, but there's not an awful lot to do. After a few hours you'll find yourself repeating the same missions, take so-and-so there, fight a few of these baddies, take the item back to the base, etc. So I think I gave it 3.5 in the end. So if you like the original, you'll like the DLC, but it won't do anything to kind of bring newcomers on board.
It's funny, that was the last interview I had before lockdown happened first time around with Thomas, the developer of
Was it?
Yeah, and
Ah.
yeah, I felt the sort of same there. It felt a bit empty at that point of things to
Yeah.
do. But like you said, it looks great. It looks really
It does.
good.
It looks fantastic. Like if you want a couple of hours just to kind of relax and play something not very taxing at all, then it's the perfect go-to. And with the base game on Game Pass, it's always good to jump in if people are unsure.
Yeah, good. I have been on Song of Iron, which I reviewed. I think it came out this week. And Song of Iron is by a solo developer. I seem to be reviewing a lot of games by solo developers, I know. And it's set in Viking times. And you play a Viking whose whole village and family have been destroyed. And you basically go on this kind of journey to find the Hall of the Gods and seek revenge. And you're basically on an epic quest, a kind of saga. Like and it's presented in a kind of 2.5D world, and it has that kind of bit of inside vibes. It's very much like a game that's on Game Pass or was on Game Pass called Until the End, which is kind of stuck in their thing. So there's combat involved. So you're attacked by kind of other Vikings, also kind of goblins and all sorts of creatures, and it's the combat's kind of like throw an axe or sword, defend, block, roll, the usual stuff, and then there's kind of puzzles as well, moving things, traps, things swinging. You have to get out of the way. But you know what? It's really minimal text. And there's no kind of cutscenes. It's told kind of more visually, and the world itself is stunning. It's amazing, the kind of landscapes and the areas that you go through, and the music's brilliant. So you do feel like you're on this kind of brilliant adventure. It's short, maybe 3 hours, but it's a really kind of great kind of little adventure. And it's not until the end. I think was quite tricky combat wise. It was really hard. You really had to master it. This isn't. I mean, if I can do it, anyone can do it. So yeah, it's I really recommend it. Song of Iron, and it's also good to play games by solid developers. It's amazing what they can do, but it does look fantastic. Yeah, it's a good one out now. Paul, what else? What else you got?
What else have I got? I have been playing. Do you remember last year, Maneater, rather, not Manhunter.
I was going to say that's a long time ago. Yeah,
Maneater. It's on Game Pass now, and they've just released a new set of DLC with a new area and new mutations to find and new achievements to get, which is always nice. So I've been playing through that for review, and it's very good. The only slight downside to it is, I don't know if you played the original, but it's narrated as if it's a cable TV show. And the same guy's back to do the voiceover again, but this time he's turned into some kind of weird conspiracy theory nut. So it's all like, oh yes, and the aliens and the insect overlords are coming to get you and this kind of stuff. And by the end of it, honestly, it was grating. It was just, you know what, this is stupid. But luckily, being a shark is as awesome as ever. So yeah, charging around the oceans, you can fight helicopters and things this time, which is quite exciting.
Wow!
If you think you have to get the speed up and leap into the air and smack these helicopters, it's very much good fun. Completely stupid. Take your brain out before you start playing it. But yeah, I reviewed it. I think I gave it either 3.5 or 4. I can't quite remember. But yeah, it's if you enjoyed Maneater, you'll enjoy the DLC. Just if you're turn the volume down a bit.
Big fan of Maneater, you'll be fine.
Absolutely.
Great.
The swimming around as a shark is still awesome, and the new mutation, I'm not going to say anything about it, but the new mutation is awesome. So
brilliant. There's a really good side note, a really weird side note, but your conspiracy theories. I did a comedy kind of web series called Pitches a couple of years ago, and it did quite well. And the idea behind Pitches was there's someone who was pitching terrible movies, to a Skype on Skype, and he thinks he's trying to do it to get promoted, but it's a scam. He's paying money to pitch his movies. And one of the movies I pitched in episode 4 is a thing called Attack of the Moon. And it's about the moon attacking the Earth and coming down, right? And today, the guy who did Day After Tomorrow and 2012, Ronald, he's got a film called Moonfall about the moon.
No.
It's taking my pitch.
I hope you've gone straight on to your lawyer.
Yes.
Absolutely. Send the lawyers.
I know. But I don't think he's included my pitch, which was the way to get the moon back was Pink Floyd played a big concert and did a backwards version of Dark Side of the Moon.
Oh, that's
I
brilliant.
don't think they've got that. I don't think they've got that. No. So there you go. Assassin's Creed DLC. I haven't chatted about this yet, and I know I always chat about Assassin's Creed and bore the hell out of everyone. But I played the last bit of Assassin's Creed, which is the Siege of Paris, and it was. I think it goes back to what we were chatting about last week, Paul. And I was kind of saying on Sunday. Sometimes I think there should be a rule that we shouldn't play games after a year. I think that should be it.
Yes.
And I love Assassin's Creed, and I love it, but I do feel. I've been playing this game for a while now. And the problem with this DLC, it doesn't do anything kind of completely new. There's lots of new little tricks, but it's nothing... it's all right. And there's another year to come of this, yeah. We're in year 1 now of Assassin's Creed. And they're talking about year 2 next year, carrying it over. I don't know how that's going to work with the new game, whether it's just going to be this online Assassin's Creed Unity thing. But however much you love a game, you do start to just get a bit weary. I think the whole reason I love playing video games is because I just love playing new stuff. And I know that's expensive. And I know that's, we're lucky we get review codes. But there's something about, I like kind of finishing stuff and going on to something else and see what something else is done. But sometimes you feel like you have to do it, even though I have to do it for review, but it feels like, I really love this series. I have to kind of go back and keep going with it. And I think the more and more I do it, the more your love of it, this is just my opinion, starts to go, is that me being too bleak?
It is an investment. It's a long run franchise, isn't it? Especially now the games are more substantial than they used to be.
Yeah.
I'm not a massive Assassin's Creed fan, but I think I reviewed 3 Remaster a few years ago for the site, and the thought of starting from the beginning and trying to play them all, it does turn me off, to be honest.
I think something's got to be really exciting with it. They've really got to turn it on its head. But I think it's the whole thing of going back. It's interesting going with something like No Man's Sky. I went back to that again, and I've put a lot of hours into that. But it did get to a point when I got something confused me in the kitchen. I'm in the kitchen recording this. Something was scratching. I think something's in the kitchen with me.
I thought you were being kidnapped for a second.
I know, it's terrible, isn't it?
Something confused me in the kitchen. Was it the washing machine?
we keep this in. If I don't come back for this podcast, what's that?
Come to get you.
Yeah, it has. So strange. This is beyond all these programs later on. Podcasts that go wrong. Just be playing this clip and hearing
When's the doorbell gonna go?
I think with No Man's Sky, I really had to tell myself at some point, no, come on, enough is enough, and I kind of deleted it because it just got. I thought I could spend hours now, and now there's a new bit of DLC coming out for that, and I'm thinking I can't go back, I can't do it anymore. But some people love it. I suppose it does give a longevity to games, but I kind of want stuff new. I want new stuff. I put it down on everyone, haven't I? I'll upset everyone.
Well, yeah.
We live in now. Yeah. You can keep the lifespan of a game going forever, can't you? If you put enough DLC in and stuff.
Yeah. Paul. No, Darren. Yes. What else have you been playing?
So, as I said, I was playing Psychonauts 2, so I thought I'd go back and replay the first Psychonauts because that's on Game Pass now to celebrate the release of the second one. It's just brilliant. I love it. It's one of those games that people who criticise Xbox sometimes when they get all tribal say, no, there's no original games and all this, that and the other. Psychonauts is the perfect example of a bit of a hidden gem, really, and a cult classic, a bit like Beyond Good and Evil, although the sequel seems to have vanished for that, unfortunately. But yeah, the first one it still stands up today. It's great fun. I think I completed it in about 3 sit-ins. So it's one of those games that still manages to hold my interest for several hours without. Some games these days I get a bit bored and go off and do something else, but no, this is brilliant. And as I say, it's on Game Pass if anybody wants to try it, because you should do. It's fantastic. So yeah, I've been playing that as well this week.
I've been playing it as well, Darren. Psychonauts 2, and it's great. It's really good, isn't it? Yeah, it's got me addicted. It's kind of, I've not had that for a while. I really need to go back to that.
Me too, exactly that. It reminds me of, to sound old, the good old days, to get what games used to be like, that used to really, if you got a day off or whatever, draw the curtains, settle in, you can lose a whole day to it quite easily, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Paul, what else you got? You got any more?
I've got one more, which is again another one I'm playing for review. It's called Greek Memories of Azure, and it's a beautiful looking sort of hand drawn 2D platformer that you run around and you're looking for your brother and your sister, and when you find them, you can use they all have different abilities and stuff. So it's very, very nice to look at. The controls are a bit annoying, especially when you've got more than one character to control.
Right.
So each of the 3 characters has a different kind of jump. So you've got your basic character that's got a double jump, and then you find his sister, and she has a kind of floaty jump. With the upshot that if you hold down the left trigger, you can control both characters at the same time. But when you try and make a jump, they've got such wildly different jumps that one makes it and one doesn't, and it just gets a bit annoying. But other than that, I mean, I'm quite enjoying it so far. It's made the boy sad, my son, because he looked at it and he really wanted to play it. Went to download it on his Xbox One, and it's an XS only game. It wouldn't let him download it. But it's so simple to look at, and it's so simple in execution. I can't imagine why it has to be XS only, but it is.
That's happened sometimes, doesn't it? So.
Yeah, well, it's weird that it's such a simple game. It's not a massive open world 3D shoot 'em up thing. It's a 2D platformer that looks like it could run on a 360 without breaking a sweat.
Right.
Wow.
So yeah, but there you go. It's a beautiful looking game. It plays quite nicely. Just a little bit of issues with the controlling more than one character at once at the minute. And I haven't written the review yet, so I can't give you a score.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome.
I felt my last one it's a really old game, this one, because I felt my PlayStation I've not really looked at since Ratchet and Clank, and because I've been on Xbox. So I thought, I need to get on the PlayStation. Well, I want to, because there's nothing really coming out yet. And I thought, because with the PlayStation, Paul, you've got like 10 games for free, best of PS4 already kind of there. Okay. So you can play things like God of War or Last of Us or something like that there for free, which is quite good with the PS Plus. So I played a game called Days Gone. I bought it, and it drove me mad because there was too many cutscenes, and it was like stealth was awful and everything else. And I had a friend of mine who kept saying, "Oh, you've got to play it because they've really patched it." When someone says that, I never believe them. So I downloaded that for the PS5, and you know what? It's good. The loading screens are kind of really still there, but they're barely minimal. The stealth's much better. Feels a bit more patchy, a little bit buggy, but nothing major. And it's a much better experience. So anyone, I think, and Days Gone is about there's a sort of zombie apocalypse in brackets because it isn't really that, and it's about you play this kind of biker or a drifter with his friend who are kind of living in it's like Wyoming or something. It's like a beautiful kind of like woodland area, and trying to survive, and you go around kind of doing jobs and following the main story. You're trying to find your fiance who got airlifted when the start of the pandemic, so it goes back in flashback. But you know, it's really like the environments are lovely. It looks great on the PS5. It's worth going back to if you can be bothered. It's much, much better than it was on PS4, where it was just unplayable.
Yeah. Well, good. I've seen it, but I've not checked it out myself. I might go and have a look at that.
Yes, it's good. Give it a go. It's free. It's free, man. It's free. Great. Now let's talk about it's September.
It is.
It's autumn's upon us soon, and there's games. We're getting into silly season now, aren't we? So it's
We are.
ramping up. So there's loads of games coming out in this. So let's just talk 2 games each, which we really looking forward to this month out of the load. Paul, what's your first one? And I can go to Darren.
My first one, the one I'm looking forward to, I think, is Diablo 2 Remastered or Resurrected or whatever it's called. I never played Diablo 2. I only started at Diablo 3 on the Xbox 360. So I'm excited to go back and see, the game that kind of started it all. Obviously there was a Diablo 1, but Diablo 2 is probably as close as I'm going to get to that since I don't have a gaming PC. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to that. It looks like it's going to be amazing. I know that you're a big fan of a remaster, Gareth. So yeah, it'll be one for me to look forward to, I think.
Can you play it online? Can you play it with other people online? Do you know that?
I would hope so, because that's a big part of Diablo, certainly of Diablo 3 on the Xbox, was you could get friends in and play together. I'd be surprised if you couldn't, let's put it that way.
Okay, good. Good, Diablo 2. Darren, what's your first one?
So my first one's an upcoming expansion for World War Z, which was released a few years ago, so Aftermath. So there's going to be some new campaign missions and bits and bobs, I think. I might be a bit of an outlier, but I love the original, especially the kind of online play as well. So it's a bit like Aliens Fireteam in the sense that you can play the campaign, but you're supposed to play it with other people around the world, but you can play it with AIs if you want to, and you can just drop in and out essentially. So I'm very much looking forward to that because I enjoyed what they did with that game based off the film a few years before. So anything World War Z-ish come in is good news in my book.
It's a 4-player kind of like, it's not like you 4 of you playing together and those zombies, isn't it?
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
So essentially, you play through certain in the original anyway, you play through certain locations, and there has been a Game of the Year edition which added an extra location. So there's 5 in the campaign, and there's 4 parts to each mission. So you go through, you've got various simple objectives, but mostly it's shooting millions of zombies, holding your position, again, a bit like Aliens, and then evacuating kind of survivors and whatnot. So it's really good fun. I don't know why, for me, I'm not a massive fan of online shooters normally as well, but it just kind of works for me.
You should be playing this with Paul.
I should.
You
did
should,
ask him when it went
absolutely.
to Game Pass. Have you played it, Paul?
I think I've played. I have played it, and I did quite like it, but unfortunately, I was playing with 2 randoms who were sort of Gareth standard when it comes to shooting games. So we all got killed very quickly.
Oh dear! Were you carrying the team, Paul?
Well, I tried to. You can only carry it so far when there's 18 million zombies. Your teammates kill 3. And then you've got to kill the other 17,997,000 and so on. Yeah, so...
I get distracted as well. Things look quite nice. I start looking at that. Or just start looking at a nice sort of doorway or something like that. Yeah. What's that? Oh, Destiny. That's the nightmare of Destiny, bro. I just look at things. Go, oh, that's pretty. Pretty sky. Good. I don't know what to choose my 2. I'm still kind of up this. Can I have 3? No, I'll go for 2. No. Sable, which is coming to Game Pass on the 23rd of September. I've been really looking forward to this for a long time. It's my kind of game. It's exploration, beautiful environments. It looks just fascinating. And it's on Game Pass. That's my first one. I'm really looking forward to that. You two interested in that?
No.
I am. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, that looks great. Paul, what's your next one?
My next one is a bit of a left field entry, to be honest. This is going right back to my kind of PS2 days. Blood Rain Betrayal Fresh Bites. Now, I don't know if you remember Blood Rain. She was a female vampire.
Me too, yeah.
Very vaguely.
She was... I played one of her games on the PS2. And then she kind of disappeared, and I had no idea that this game was even coming out until I was trying to do the research for this, and I was thinking, what game can I choose that
I can't believe you've chosen. What you're doing is you're really fitting into James's shoes by choosing the kind of like.
And then,
I didn't even know this game was a thing.
Blackpink are in concert, so
Blood
yeah.
Rain
But
Betrayal.
I just thought, I've not seen anything of Blood Rain for so long, and then all of a sudden, here she is in a 2D sort of Castlevania kind of looking game, and it just looks stupid and over the top, and it's got that woman doing the voice, Laura Bailey. She's doing the voice of Blood Rain in this as well. So yeah, it just looks, it looks like a proper bit of take your brain out and have a bit of fun kind of game. So yeah, Blood Rain Betrayal Fresh Bites is my second choice.
When's that out, Paul?
In September sometime.
Whenever you want it to be.
Yeah,
Just ring the developer and say, "Can you give me the copy?"
Yeah, I'm really interested in this new game. Send it over and I'll review it for you.
Oh dear.
So there you go. You didn't see that one coming, did you?
No, I'll be counting down the days now.
Yeah.
It's got to be better than Sable, though. So.
Darren, what's your other one?
So I was going to pick Kena Bridge of Spirits, but I thought I'd keep it Xbox. So I've gone for the Artful Escape, which looks really, really interesting. So essentially, from what I can gather, because it's a bit mad, the trailer, it's quite psychedelic. It's a platform game, and you play a lead guitarist who kind of goes around trying to create their own sound samples and whatnot, and it kind of just looks a bit mad, but it sounds brilliant. And it looks brilliant as well. So it's like you were saying before in World War Z, it's something that was a bit shiny, a bit exciting. It's caught my interest, and it's going to be on Game Pass. So I think it's next week it's on there. So yeah, that's going to be on the list, definitely.
Great. Yeah, it does look brilliant. I think who's reviewing that for us at the moment? I think someone's doing it. I can't remember. Yeah, it does look great. It looks really nice. My last one, I am going to go PlayStation because, as I said, I haven't played my PlayStation for a while, apart from Days Gone. And I think I'm going to say Kena Bridge of Spirits is a close one. I really love that. I think I might go for Deathloop. I think I might have to do it.
I do love the look of that.
Yeah.
It's finally coming out as well. So
I'm getting more excited about it. More, it just looks a bit more interesting. So I think that, I think that's my next one. But it's a good month. There's loads coming out. It's really exciting. We're getting into, like we said, mad time. Game Pass. We know what's coming out in the next week or so, don't we? It seems to be, they've revealed, we've got Craftopia. That's gone well down. It's gone down well. We got Breathe Edge, which I reviewed, which is great. It's that's really worth having a go. You're sort of stuck in space, and it's like a survival, but very funny. It's really good. It's great. It looks great as well. I'm not going to go through all these, but the Artful Escape, as we know, Final Fantasy games in there. I don't know what that's like. What's that like, Darren?
Final Fantasy
10, I think.
Okay. It's 13, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. That and the second one and the third one. There is a 13.3 as well.
Oh, okay.
So features Lightning. She's quite cool.
Surgeon 2 Simulator, that's their big one coming out. Is out now, I think, today. Which is, if you like that type of thing, it could be a laugh with 4 people. Can't imagine it anything else.
Does he need this bit? No, it'll be fine. Put it back.
Yeah, I think it's an hour of good fun, and then let's forget about this.
Mm-hmm.
Good. And the PlayStation have they've got Overcooked as their game, Overcooked and Ultimate, basically. Hitman 2 and something else. What's the last one?
Predator. Hunting Grounds, which was okay. I think the hype was a bit bigger than how good the actual game was, but Brian played it and it looked quite fun. Again, if you like the film, you probably like it.
Now it's quite lower news at the moment after Gamescom, but we have got. There's been a couple of things. We do know there's going to be an Xbox, which we'll cover, of course. Xbox are going to do something at the Tokyo Game Show, and they'll include their own showcase with exclusive news. I think that's about the 26th at the end of the month, isn't it? There's something exclusive. Any ideas? What do you think we're going to hear?
I saw a tweet. I can't remember who tweeted, whether it was Aaron Greenberg or Phil. But apparently they kind of managed expectations of it by saying it's not going to be like out of left field reveals or whatever. It's going to be more updates on current projects. So I think it's going to feel like the Xbox showcase at Gamescom and less like opening night live, I think.
Right.
Sorry to put a dampener on it.
Thanks for that, Darren. Thanks.
All right.
That's good.
Yeah.
Maybe
I don't
more,
want to watch it now.
more footage of Blood Rain, maybe, if Paul's lucky.
Oh, well. Do you know what? I'm going to be tweeting Phil after this and going, make sure you show some more of this Blood Rain.
Yeah. PlayStation have got one next week. At last, they're sort of responding to the whole summer of things. So they're doing something next Thursday, and we're going to do the podcast on the Friday next week. And they've said in theirs, this is PS5. This is focusing on PS5 stuff. So whether that's new stuff or stuff that they've had before, it's going to be a 40-minute presentation. That's quite exciting. And they said they're not going to do it. There's not going to be any virtual reality. What's it called? The PSVR 2. There's not going to be any of that. But yeah, so that's good. So hopefully they're going to, because they need to do something PlayStation. Because as we talked about,
I think.
And like we talked about last week, they've got Kenny Bridge of Spirits and they've got Deathloop, and it goes a bit quiet after that till February. So hopefully they've got a few things up their sleeves. Now we're going to do a quiz because it's
Yay!
It's a slow week, and I've sort of done a quiz. Now we're doing a quiz. I retired the other quiz, which I did a lot, and this is the quiz I think I might have only done once in probably podcast number 10 or something. And the idea behind this quiz, you two do it. I haven't talked to you about this at all, have I? What it's about?
No, we've not got a
mystery.
So you've got 5 games, right? We did like the last quiz. We had 5 games that you have to guess, and you have 5 clues to guess the games in. If you get the clue on the first, if you get it on the first clue, you get 5 points. If you get it on the fourth, 4, 3, 2, 1, and there's no bonus points. But the game is. These are quotes that people or characters have said in the game.
Ah.
So you have to kind of get. I'm not going to do any voices or anything to give it away.
But you have to do the impression.
No,
I thought you were an actor.
Yeah, it's no impressions. And so that's it. So you'll get. Yeah, these are things that characters have said. Bits of dialogue that you have to kind of guess. Of course, it'll start off harder and it will get down low. So, are we ready? For the first one?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay, so
is it going to be taking turns, or is it just shout out who does it?
Taking turns, I think.
Let's do turns.
Let's start with Paul. Okay.
3.
You worry about yourself, old man.
Was it my wife to me this morning? I can't get it from that.
No. Good, over to Darren. You worry about yourself, old man.
I don't know, The Last of Us.
Oh, no, good guess. Okay, we're going down.
I hope that, hang on, can we just clarify? Is it Xbox only games or is it PS as well?
Could be anything.
Well, that puts me into an immediate disadvantage, only being an Xbox household.
I've fallen foul of this before versus James with sequels and stuff. I have to be very careful.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Next one. How'd a Muppet like you get past selection, eh? And that's Darren now. I guess that's how it goes. How'd a Muppet like you get past selection, eh?
No idea. I'll guess Control.
No. Paul?
Is it The Muppets Take Manhattan?
No, good guess, but no. Good, right, we're going down. Next clue.
Yes, it's going well.
Yeah.
Oh, we're smashing it.
50,000 people used to live here. Now it's a ghost town. I've never seen anything like it. Paul?
Is it Spec Ops The Line?
Oh, good guess, but no. Darren?
Is it Metro Exodus 2033?
Good guess, but no. Oh, clue number 4. Check your corners. Darren.
I don't know. Aliens Fireteam Elite.
No. Paul.
Is it Metro 2033?
No. No.
Because
No.
I realised that Darren sort of put two games together.
Yeah.
Oh, did
And I
I?
thought maybe you went Metro Exodus 2033 and Exodus and 2033 are different games. I thought maybe he was being really pedantic about the numbers. But no, okay, sorry.
No.
It's happened before. Good try.
It has happened before. Come on then.
Last one.
Clue. Hit me, Gareth.
Soap. Try not to die this time.
Oh, Call of Duty Modern Warfare?
Yes, well done, Paul.
I've never got that.
1 point for
Well,
Paul.
Only because I know the character of Soap McTavish.
Yeah, there you go.
It's over my head.
50,000 people used to live here, so it's Chernobyl, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Good. So 1 point, 1-0. I think you're well in there, Darren.
1-0, 1-0.
If Blood Rain comes up next, I'm walking off the podcast. Okay, just so you know.
Right, Darren, you get to choose first, I think, now, so this is good. So, first clue. The right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world.
Half-Life 2. I know that back to front.
5 points. Darren, well done!
Come on.
I've played that game a lot of times.
I didn't think you'll get it from that. That's amazing.
I'm been stitched up like a kipper here.
If I remember correctly, it's the G-Man, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Good grief.
Well done, well done. Shall I give you the rest of the clues for the audience?
Yeah, absolutely.
Them.
When the singularity collapses, I will be far away from here in another universe, as a matter of fact. You, on the other hand, will be destroyed in every way it's possible to be destroyed, and even in some which are essentially impossible. Clue 2. Would you have got that, Paul?
Maybe not. I think the other one I recognise more.
Number 3. I see your ATB suit still fits you like a glove. At least the glove parts do.
Yeah.
Clue 4. Dog. Throw them something bigger.
Yeah.
And 5. Wake up, Mr. Freeman. Wake up and smell the ashes. Good. Yeah. Well done.
Yeah.
I think I might have got it from the Freeman one. But that's it.
Unbelievable. Okay. Well done. 5-1. This is, here we go.
Did you message him beforehand and go, the second one's Half-Life 2, all right?
Not at all, not at all. It's all above board, Paul.
Fair enough. I trust you, Darren.
Right, here we go. Third game. Clue number 1, so for Paul to see if he can get in there. Gravity tethers engaged. Automatic docking procedure is go.
Is that Dead Space?
Yes!
Oh my goodness me.
Yes! I never thought you would have got it from that.
Oh, wow.
Well, I don't know if you remember, but I told you that on the back of the news of the remaster, I'd started playing the first one again. And
wow, it's paying dividends
it just remembered. So get in.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, this podcast is going to be very short now, thanks to you two.
Just read out the rest of the clues very slowly.
Here's the rest of the clues for that one. Clue number 2. The tram system's offline. Getting around is going to be difficult. The air seems to be flowing again. That's a start. Okay.
I'd have got it from that.
3. Never heard of a total communications blackout on one of these things. You think with 1,000 people on board, someone would pick up the phone.
Yep, I'd have got it from that too.
And clue number 4. USG Ishimura. This is the emergency maintenance team of USK Killing responding to your distress call. Come in.
Mm-hmm.
And number 5.
Got that.
Isaac, it's me. I wish I could talk to you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about everything. I wish I could talk to someone. It's all falling apart here. I can't believe what's happening. It's strange. Such a little thing. Yeah, well done. So it's 6-5.
Thank you.
Very
6-5.
That's close.
That was in a short few seconds. Was in the lead there.
Oh, dear.
Right. Game number 4. Darren, you're first. So you heard it too. I think I'm getting old. Seems like talking to myself is becoming a habit. Oh.
No idea. Deus Ex, Human Revolution. No idea.
No. Paul?
I'm struggling with that one, to be honest. Is it Red Dead Redemption?
No. Good, okay. Clue number 2. Just a moment, I found something. It's a weapon. It's really powerful, especially against living things. Paul?
That's me. Really powerful against living things. Interesting. I don't know. Gears of War.
Ooh, no. Darren?
I don't know. Left 4 Dead.
No. Clue number 3. I'm going to find out what caused Forrest's death. Looks like it was killed by a crow or something. And that's...
Oh.
Who's that for now? Is that Darren?
I know it.
I think I know it.
Go on.
Is it Resident Evil?
It is Resident Evil. Yay! 3 points to Darren.
Oh, bloody hell.
Pilot, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is a classic.
Pecked to death by crows.
The last 2 clues were, that was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
And the last one is, run, Jill. He's insane. Good.
I can't believe you didn't go with the all-time classic. I hope this isn't Chris's blood.
Yeah, I know. I nearly did. That nearly was my last one.
You have to get the pronunciation just right as well. Chris's blood.
So into the cold.
Yeah. Great. So the scores are, before we hit the final game,
no.
Darren's got 8 and Paul's got 6.
I'll to play for.
So Paul goes first.
Yes, come on then, make it an easy one.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Good. A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that.
Are you talking about the game, or was that the quote?
That was the quote.
It's surprising how much this matters to me. Could you give me the line again?
Yeah. A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that.
Is it Quantum Break?
No.
Damn it.
Darren.
I'll go on the same theme. Is it Control?
Ooh, no. Clue number 2. Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11. And that's Darren.
I don't know. It Takes Two?
No. Paul.
When I was 11. It's not something daft like Night in the Forest, is it?
No, good guess, but no. Clue number 3. The night the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw our old house again. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. And that's to Paul.
That's to me, and I have literally no idea. What game do I know that involves a low tide? I don't know. Blackpool Seafront, the game.
I'm looking forward to that game, though.
That smells awful.
Darren.
I have no idea at all. The Last of Us. No idea.
No. Okay, so this now, I think, maybe Paul's out
this
there.
is
But
this
maybe
is Darren again, isn't it? So
the truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
It sounds like a game I'd want to play. It's fascinating, but I've no idea what it is. No, I can't think of anything. I'm going to have to pass.
Oh, Paul, this is it. Do you want to hear it again, or are you okay?
Is it? This is a long shot. Dear Esther.
No. That's a really good guess. But
Darren.
I think Darren's got it. The last clue. Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you. There's only time for one. This is about what happened the night you were born.
I know the game, and I can't think of the name of it. It's the something of Edith Finch, isn't it?
Yes, it's What Remains of Edith Finch.
That's it. Yes.
But
it's not enough, is it?
It's not enough. Darren's got 8.
Oh, no.
Paul's got 7.
I've never won a quiz. I drew twice with James. I've never lost or won, so this is a big moment for me. I'm very happy with that.
Well done, Darren.
Congratulations, Darren.
Thank you very much.
Unlucky, Paul. Very close, though.
Yes, it was. Damn
Very
it.
close. I think I want to play Whatever Happened to Edith Finch again. I was thinking about that.
It sounds brilliant. I've not played it.
It's great. It's a brilliant game.
Yeah.
It is it is pretty good.
Yeah.
I knew it was a walking simulator type game, but I just couldn't think of the name. What was the one I said? Something about Dear Edith. Dear Esther.
Yeah.
That was the one. Yeah, that was the other one.
In the right ballpark.
Yeah, Darren, play it. It's on Game Pass. It was on Game Pass, so
Was it?
definitely should play it.
It is very good.
Well.
Really good.
I should look that up for sure.
And it was a couple of hours, but it's really good. Great. Well, well done, gentlemen. That's all right. That's okay. That game, isn't it? We like that. That's not too bad.
I enjoyed that. Yeah.
I think I like that better than the Metacritic score one.
Yeah. Let's just now. What are we looking forward to next week? What's going on next week? Darren, what are you looking forward to? What's going on for you?
We're me and Ryan are going away, so we're going to London tomorrow for the weekend, which will be nice, and then going off to York next week. So just getting a round of our time off, really. But more immediately, I'm going to be organising a victory party off the back of that quiz. So.
Magnanimous in his victory. What are you going to do in London, Darren? What fun?
So we have booked the Natural History Museum and the British Museum, and then going to hopefully go and see something on the Saturday night down in the West End, and just do a bit of shopping as well and just chill out, really.
Great.
I've not been for a while, so I'm looking forward to it.
Brilliant. Perfect. Paul,
I've heard Deptford's quite nice.
Come to Deptford. It's the best bit.
I'll wave on the way past.
Yeah. Paul, what are you doing this week?
This week, next week, isn't it? We're talking about.
Yeah.
I've booked Friday off because I'm going to go night fishing again, which is always good fun. Just an excuse to sit around with your mates and have some beer and generally just talk nonsense. So that's going to be fun. And then other than that, it's just basically going to be working, sleeping, playing Xbox and repeating. This seems to be my life these days.
Good.
It's not easy being a reviewer, you know.
No, exactly.
It's not all fun and games.
But it is mostly games.
Yeah.
It is mostly games. Yeah. Sometimes it's fun.
I think I'm going to look forward next week. The Artful Escape. That's the one, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, that's coming out on Thursday next week. That'd be a really good one. Right, gentlemen, thank you very much. If we need to find you, where would we find you? Darren, where are we going to get you?
I'm on Twitter with the handle @27Darren.
And Paul, where can we find you?
I am also on Twitter with the handle, which is that the correct term for?
That is the official term, yeah.
That is the official term. Hey, my handle is @XboxHubPaul.
And my handle is GB Briley on Twitter and Twitch.
Nobody wants to talk about your handle.
No. But for now, gentlemen, see you next time. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
You've been listening to the official podcast of TheXboxHub.com. You'll be able to find all the notes of this show at www.thexboxhub.com/podcast. You can also check out our social feeds on Instagram and Twitter @TheXboxHub and search for The Xbox Hub on Facebook.